Robert Scott Bell.
Oh, no, who have we upset now?
Oh, man.
What is going on? An angry college crowd. They're outraged. Outraged. Is it because of what we're doing, Super Don?
No, this is no way to start off the day. What's going on?
No, they're upset in south of England. The south of England, the Brits there. Everybody listen through UK Health Radio. What's going on down there at Brighton University? They're upset because our good friend Brent Leung's film is going to be shown at a university. Can you imagine? They do not like freedom of speech. They don't like critical thinking. I thought, we saw great stuff with college. We got a good story on college students a little later today, too. Welcome, everybody, by the way. It is time for the Robert Scott Bell Show. A little bit of midday on the East Coast, morning time on the West, and around the world, whatever time zone you're on. No cheap seats here. They're all good. And we've got, I want to say thank you. I did double duty yesterday. I was in two places at once. We had Advanced Medicine Monday here with Dr. Pitar, and I was also at Port Richey in Florida lecturing for the A to Zinc health food stores and their crowd. It was great. I followed up on Stuart Tomp's wonderful talk on omega-3s, pumping up those omegas, nix the six, as he says, and it was fantastic. I appreciate everybody that came out. I even had, interestingly enough, one of the ladies that was there I met at the funeral for Carrie Stokely. Remember when Carrie Stokely?
I do. Absolutely.
She was also, a woman who they had claimed had HIV and was actually devastated by the treatment for it years ago, and they just destroyed medically her gastrointestinal system. And she couldn't recover from that, but became a lightning rod of, let's say, HIV activists. We've covered this so many years, I almost hesitate to go back into it, but this is in the news today, so we couldn't ignore it. And Brent sent this to me.
Right.
The filmmaker for House of Numbers. Outrage sparked by Brighton University. Why? Because they're showing the film. They're planning to show the film House of Numbers.
Yeah. This reminds me of the. Do you remember many years ago there was a movie? I forget. Famous director came out with the movie The Last Temptation of Christ.
Yes.
You remember when that came out? Oh my goodness!
Yeah.
The outrage was insane. And this reminds me of it, and man, can you hear that? I've got one of those.
The fire extinguisher. We must be so hot today. We're setting off your fire extinguisher.
The crowd is lighting fires out in the hallway.
They're really.
But no, it reminds me of the same thing, and it's funny because it was a religious thing when The Last Temptation of Christ came out that people were so offended by. And honestly, the HIV paradigm that's going on there, it's like a religion. It really is. People are just clinging to it. You cannot deny this.
Well, it's a death cult, and here we're asking for people to open their minds and utilize critical thinking skills. A university professor, he's been criticized for suggesting to his students that HIV does not cause AIDS. Now, as far as I can tell, he hasn't suggested anything. He's saying, hey, let's watch this film. But you got this event, Dr. Karl Cox, who's inviting them to find out the truth about HIV. The film is called House of Numbers, right? We featured it on the Robert Scott Bell Show for many years here. And it suggests that the virus does not cause the killer disease AIDS. AIDS is not a disease, it's a syndrome. Immune collapse is real, but the HIV is phony. Now, even if you aren't where we are in our understanding of what's going on with the so-called AIDS and HIV, the fact of the matter is I would urge you and encourage you to pick up not only House of Numbers, which you can download for free now on the web through YouTube. Go to houseofnumbers.com. But get Liam Sheff's great book, Official Stories. There's a whole chapter on it, and you can catch up. And all I ask is you have an open mind and utilize your critical thinking skills. Now, isn't that what college is supposed to be about? I mean, come on. Critical thinking. We can be exposed to ideas that are different than our own. But no, we got to suppress this. How outrageous.
The thing about taking an opposing point of view and at least, viewing it, studying it, understanding it, if nothing else, it will help strengthen your own point of view because you will find things in the opposing point of view that you don't agree with that might shore up your own point of view. That's just being open-minded. That's how it's supposed to be.
Jesse Laffin, the student, he's 23 years old from Port Slade, wherever this is, or Port Slade, whatever. It said the film was completely misleading. This 23-year-old kid. He said, I find this quite affronting. The World AIDS Day having been so recent and living in a city where HIV transmission is a real issue. I think promoting this is dangerous, especially to young students. No, what's dangerous is that your fellow students might actually find out that the science behind HIV claiming it's the cause of AIDS is completely filled with holes that cannot be filled with anything but propaganda. And all it's being done here is the showing of a film so that you can have a discussion about it. And so this tells me that the University of Brighton, my fellow British listeners, if your kids are going to the University of Brighton, you might want to consider putting them in a different university, just simply because the kids are so shut down to being exposed to other ideas. That's disappointing to me. So,
yeah. I mean, they call these places institutions of higher learning, and I see nobody interested in any higher learning. It sounds to me like this is a very closed-minded, narrow-minded institution.
Yeah. Well, if
really
you'd like to actually give words of support to the senior lecturer there, Dr. Karl Cox, I've got his contact information, including his email. If you'd like to send, it's k.cox, C-O-X, at brighton.ac.uk. And say, hey, kudos to you, Professor Cox, for standing your ground and saying, hey, we want to expose the students to different thought forms and ideas instead of the pitchforks of, what would we call it, mediocrity dominating that college campus there.